This tutorial is really designed to help teachers with projector and smartboard issues that they have whenever they plug in to a video projector or their smartboard. Sometimes what happens is your screen resolution and the size of everything will be adjusted automatically whenever you plug in your smartboard or your projector. And there is a simple fix to that, and that's what I'm going to go over. The other thing that happens is that sometimes upon startup, the display ends up being set to two separate screens, and I'll illustrate that in just a second. So first of all, let's talk about the resolution changing whenever you plug in your projector, your smartboard. The way to fix this, if you don't like what it does, some people like it because it ends up expanding everything and making it a little bit larger, but then you also have to resize your windows that were already open by hitting the green plus sign. But the way to fix this is to, first of all, as it says, go to the Apple, and then you're going to go to System Preferences. Once you're in System Preferences, it may take a second, and then you're going to have several different options, but you want to click on Displays. Within Displays, you've got all kinds of different settings, and I'm not plugged into a projector right now, but if I were, then I would have another tab here, and we'll talk about that in a second. What you're seeing here, though, is just different screen resolution sizes, and you can change it to anything you want. And when you do that, it'll sometimes do this, making things much larger, and then you have to adjust your windows, so when it comes to like writing different things, you don't have as much room. So I usually keep it as a default on 1024 by 768, and whenever you're messing with resolution, a lot of times you have to then go back and resize everything. If you're fine with how the screen looks whenever you plug in your projector, even if it adjusts the resolution, then you can just disregard this, but I know it becomes irritating to some people, including myself. So I like to put things back how they were, and I usually use the 1024 by 768 setting. Now, there's a different issue that also occurs sometimes upon startup, and it can be a problem or it can be actually pretty useful as well, so we'll talk about both of those things. If you plug in your smartboard, or if you start up your computer at the school and then you have an issue where you're not seeing on the smartboard your screen and what you have up on your screen, then what has happened is your displays are not mirrored, meaning they're not showing the same things. It's like you have two monitors or two screens. So I'll show you how to fix that. In the Arrangement tab, if you're plugged into a smartboard, you have to be plugged in, otherwise this tab will not exist. But in the Arrangement tab, if you click on that, then you're going to get something that looks like this. And if they're displaying two different things, then you do not have a mirrored display. How do you fix that? Simple, just click in the box that says Mirror Displays, and then you should have a visual that looks like the second picture here, and notice that the Mirror Displays box is checked and they're overlapping, showing you that they are mirrored. However, if you see the usefulness of having two separate screens, then I will discuss that next. So unmirroring your displays is done the same way. You have to be plugged in, just unclick it, and then you'll have two different screens to work with. Why is this nice? Well, because let's say that you are working on something, but you also want your kids to be looking at the board at something else that you have. So you have the option of freezing, but freezing can become cumbersome depending on what you're trying to do, and it's not live, it's frozen, so any adjustments made on that screen will not show until you unfreeze it, and so again it becomes kind of a task to manage that if you're doing it a lot. So maybe the solution is two screens for some things you do in class. So by having them unmirrored, what you're going to have is, you see the two blue boxes, and each box represents a screen. The one to the right should be your smartboard projector screen. The one to the left with the white bar above it right now should be your computer screen. the last thing I was going to show you is that the white bar means that is your primary display. So if you click on that white bar and drag it over to the other one, as seen in this visual, then you can actually change which display is your primary display. Why is that important? Well, the programs or applications on your computer many times are ran through your dock, which is the thing pictured at the top here. If you want that dock to be accessible on the other screen, the smartboard screen rather than your computer screen, and you just want to work on something else but you want kids to have access to the dock, maybe working on the smartboard, then you can move the white bar and that will change which computer screen or which screen is your actual primary display. So that's kind of how you do that.